here very quickly. You can actually view a history of the scans that you've actually done. You've got the options for anti-spam and firewall. But you can start a scan here very quickly if you wanted to. Just start the scan and it fires up straight away. So you can see it's actually pretty quick there. I'll stop that if you don't really want to watch it go through. But you can see the quick there. In 7 seconds, it's already scanned over 35,000 files in 7 seconds. So it does get through it pretty quickly. So as Lauren mentioned, the first time you actually do a scan, it's actually going to take a little bit longer. It'll scan, when you do a complete scan, it'll scan all the products on your computer. The next time it'll actually do an IntelliScan. It won't scan those files that are more likely to be changed. Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah. Is that better to see? So you can see there that this, as I said, this scan's actually taken about 7 seconds to run. I didn't let it finish, obviously it would take a little bit longer than 7 seconds to run through the whole computer. IntelliGuard, I'll let Lauren talk about that a little bit too.
So during the presentation, Grant talked about different layers of protection we provide. In the IntelliGuard section, we have all of the types of guards that protect in real time, and they also protect against new and unknown threats. So you can see here we have Behavior Guard, which is, as Grant explained before, the guard that protects using behavioural-based analogy of the threats rather than waiting for the signature. We have the Browser Guard technology that protects against everything within the browser. Download Guard is the feature we were talking about earlier that protects in the cloud. And you can see there it's actually marked red, meaning we've actually disabled it using that button just there. So we can actually re-enable that, go back to the main screen, and you can see that now we have full protection running on the PC. We go back to the guards, just some other guards of note. The File Guard, and Rootkit Guard, and Site Guard. So together, all of these layers of protection provide you protection in real time. What you can also do here, for more technically advanced users, is view the history of those guards, what they've actually detected and protected, and you can manage exclusions. Now what that means is you can set certain file paths. I only want you to scan this part of my computer. I only want you to scan these files, for example. But again, that's usually for more technically advanced users.
To that point too, on the Behavior Guard you can actually set the sensitivity there, so you can set it as extremely high, which would be like a paranoid state, through to a very low state of detection.
So if we go over to tools.
So on the tools side of it here, this is where typically it's more for the higher, the more sophisticated user, someone who wants to actually get in there and get a bit more involved in the product. But an example here is that I talked about the ability to create a bootable disk that you can actually scan from. So this PC Tools ISO burner, that allows you to create a bootable, you could create a bootable CD-ROM or a DVD drive or even a USB stick for that matter. And you could create an image on that that will allow you to boot your computer from that and then clean and disinfect a badly infected computer. So these are tools that we make available as standard, obviously, in our product for the more sophisticated users. And the settings.
There's a range of settings within the settings function. What this is most valuable for is that really technically savvy user, somebody that really wants to either one, schedule a scan at a time that suits them most. I think that's really important. You really don't want to be running scans when you're doing something that's really intensive, an intensive task, or you're trying to work to a deadline at work. And you don't want the internet security to come in and bother you during the scan at that time. The other thing you can set in here, I believe in, yes, advanced features or advanced settings, is there's actually a gaming mode. Gaming mode is great for those of you that like to game or watch movies online or deliver a PowerPoint presentation, for example. It knows automatically to not run those time-intensive tasks while you're in that mode of functionality. I think that's a really great thing. The other thing is the power saving mode. So if you're actually running your laptop on battery, it knows not to run a scan at that time to drain your battery of power.
คือมันจะรู้ว่าตอนไหนที่
One of the other interesting features is what we
เพราะ
call
ว่าพอเซ็น
quarantine.
PowerPoint อยู่เราอยู่ดีมันรันขึ้นมา
Quarantine is for those
มันสั่ง
files
มากเลยถ้าเรา
that
พวกนี้ก็อยาก
the software is actually asking you, do you think that this is a malicious file? So actually checking with you. And if you're unsure, you can actually quarantine those files at that time until you're ready to make a decision as to whether you think that that's a malicious file, whether you think it's a legitimate
ผู้
file.
ใช้เนี่ย
There's also a range of other settings within there, and I think, as I touched on before, is the schedule scan. So if I'd like to schedule a scan,
เกี่ยวกับการ presentation ที่มัน
just click through here. I can either run a full scan of the computer,
สแกนตอนที่เราไปทำ
I can search for updates, I can run a quick
คือไม่ใช่
scan,
สุดคือสัญญาณที่ลูกค้าอยู่ดีถึงเวลาต้องสแกนเราเลย
I can set it for daily, weekly,
แล้วมันก็จะเสร็จ
monthly,
ได้
for certain parts of the computer, whatever I actually really wanted to scan. We recommend doing a full scan once a week, at least, to make sure you've got the latest protection.
ฟูลเป็น
But
เที่ยว
on a daily basis, a quick scan should
ก็
suffice.
ทุกวันจะสแกน
And you can see that it's actually set to look at those.
Yeah.
But if you look up here, you'll see that by default it comes with the recommended scan settings there. So as a user, you can actually change that to suit your own requirements. We've got this, the default actually has it scanning at 6 p.m. at night, which is what we had found is when most customers were not using their computer typically. So that can of course be changed and altered.
So I guess just in summary, there are some of the key features of internet security. You can see that we cater to both those technically savvy users that we said are still loyal followers of our product, but also those that are less technically savvy. So it's very simple and easy to use from the first interface to click on all your levels of protection. But if you are more advanced, you have that option to go back deeper into the product and schedule the scans or scan only certain parts of your computer, which we find the more technically savvy users enjoy.
ปกติพวก setting อะไรพวกนี้
And that's internet security.